I never thought a 6-year-old girl could see something I couldn't see about myself. But that's where this story starts. With me sitting on a wooden bench in Central Park and my daughter saying something that changed everything. The morning was quiet. Too quiet, maybe. It was the kind of October morning where the sun hasn't quite decided if it's going to warm anything or just light up the cold. The trees around us were dropping leaves. Red, gold, burnt orange. They weren't falling in any particular order, just scattering across the grass, like the wind had no plan. I hadn't slept well. Again. 3 years of sleeping badly. 3 years of waking up at 4 a.m. with my heart beating too fast and no reason for it. 3 years since my wife Claire died. Lily was 6 years old now, which meant she'd spent half her life without a mother. I did the math sometimes. Couldn't help it. 3 years, 4 months and 17 days. I wasn't counting anymore. I was past that. Most days. I wasn't a man who looked like he was falling apart. That was something I'd always been quietly proud of, and something I was starting to recognize as both a strength and a kind of loneliness that had no name. I went to work every day. I did my job, helping families fall apart in controlled therapeutic ways. I came home. I made dinner. I helped Lily with homework. I put her to bed and read to her. Her voice, small and careful in the dark. I was functioning, completely functional. But I wasn't living. I was surviving. And Lily knew the difference. This morning I'd gotten up before her, made cold coffee I didn't drink, and sat in the kitchen looking at a photograph of Claire I kept on the counter next to the toaster. She was laughing at something outside the frame. Her dark eyes creased at the corners. She looked like she was in the middle of saying something important. She had been, while alive, the person who most consistently told me what I was worth. When Lily woke up, I shifted into dad mode. The performance began. We had breakfast together. I asked about school. She told me about a spelling test. We didn't talk about the fact that her mother wasn't there. We were both experts at not talking about that. Around 8 a.m., Lily asked if we could go to Central Park. I asked her why. She said it was a good day for the park. I said, okay. And we got ready. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I was grateful she wanted to do something. Grateful that getting out of the apartment might make the day feel less like the day before it. We walked to the park, her small hand in mine. My hand was warm. Hers was small and cold. We found a bench near the fountain. Not the fancy fountain with the angel statue. Just a regular fountain. Lily swung her legs beside me. Her shoes pointed toward the water, then away, then toward again. Rhythm, repetition, something to hold on to. I had coffee in a travel mug, still cold by now. I didn't drink it. Lily was quiet. That was normal. She'd been quiet most days since her mother died. She'd learned silence too quickly. She spoke only when she needed something, or when something inside her couldn't stay inside anymore. Those moments were rare, but they mattered. I was thinking about nothing. Just the fountain, just the park, just the weight of being a single father who was doing okay, but wasn't okay. Just the weight of raising a daughter who was too young to have lost someone already. And then Lily stopped swinging her legs. She was staring past me, toward the walkway on the other side of the fountain. I turned to see what she was looking at. There was a woman near the fountain, early 40s maybe, sharp posture, long coat, hair tied back like she didn't have time to think about her hair. She wasn't doing anything special, just checking her phone while waiting for someone. But people adjusted their paths around her without realizing it. There was a quiet authority in the way she stood, like the world respected her before she even asked for it. I looked back at Lily. She was still staring. I didn't think much of it. Kids stare at people all the time. They have no filter, no awareness that staring is rude. Then Lily said something that stopped my heart cold. Marry her. I blinked. Dad reflexes kicked in. Dad confusion. What I said. Lily raised her small hand and pointed. The woman. You should marry her. No. No, we don't say things like that. You don't even know her. But Lily wasn't looking at me anymore. She was still staring at the woman, and her expression wasn't playful. It wasn't a child's imagination running wild. It was serious, certain, like she meant it with every fiber of her 6-year-old being. I followed her gaze again. The woman turned slightly, for just a second. Our eyes met. I felt something strange, something like recognition, something like being seen, something like standing at the edge of a cliff and not knowing if you're about to fall or fly. And then it was gone. The woman looked away and continued walking, disappeared into the park like she'd never been there at all. Lily finally spoke again. Quieter now. She's the one, Dad. I exhaled sharply. Lily, stop. That's not how life works. But Lily shook her head and said simply, it is. And I wanted to laugh it off. I really did. Kids say random things all the time. Kids live in imagination. Kids point at strangers and make up stories. But something about her tone didn't feel random. It felt decided. Like she knew something I didn't. Like this wasn't guessing. This was knowing. We walked home that evening, and I tried not to think about it. Tried to convince myself it was just a child's imagination. But her words were stuck in my mind like a stubborn echo. Marry her. She's the one. We passed a street billboard with business headlines on it. I slowed down. There was a photograph. The same woman, same sharp features, same controlled presence. Below her photo, a name. Sophia Brooks, CEO Brooks Global Enterprises. I stared longer than I should have. Lily tugged my hand gently. That's her, she said softly. I didn't answer, because for the first time I wasn't sure if I should believe her or fear her intuition. And somewhere deep inside the city that never paused, I felt like something had just shifted direction. That night I couldn't stop thinking about it. I told myself it was nothing, a child pointing at a stranger, a coincidence with the billboard, a moment that meant less than it felt like. But Lily didn't forget things easily, and neither did I. The next morning, Lily woke up and asked to go to Central Park again. I said we'd just been there yesterday. She said we should go again, earlier this time. I didn't have a good reason to say no. I had nowhere to be. I never had anywhere to be except work and home. That was my life. Work and home and Lily. That was enough. That had to be enough. We went back to the park earlier, around 7:30 a.m. The park was quieter this time. Damp grass, colder breeze, fewer people. It felt like the whole world was still sleeping, and we were the only ones awake. I sat on the same bench, scrolled through my phone just to avoid thinking too much. Lily stood a few steps away, staring at the walkway like she was waiting for something. Or someone. I said gently, Lily, we're not going to talk about yesterday, okay? She didn't respond. That silence again. Then she said, she comes here. I looked up. What Lily pointed toward the bridge. She walks here in the morning. How do you know that? Lily shrugged like it was obvious. I saw her before. But that made no sense. I'd never brought her here that early. Before I could question it further, footsteps approached from behind. Measured, calm, confident. I turned slowly, and there she was again. The same woman. Sophia Brooks. The one from the park, the one from the billboard. But this time she wasn't just passing through. She stopped when she saw us. A pause. Just a second too long. Her eyes moved from me to Lily. Something subtle shifted in her expression. Not surprise, not curiosity. Something more controlled. Something like recognition she refused to admit. "Morning," she said simply. I stood up a little too quickly. "I'm sorry. My daughter. She recognized you from yesterday. I think she mistook you for someone else." Sophia didn't react right away. She looked at Lily. "Did she?" she asked. Lily stepped forward, completely unafraid. "You're sad," Lily said. I froze. "Lily, don't." But Sophia raised her hand slightly. "Let her speak," she said. The park around them felt quieter now, like even the wind had slowed down. Lily continued, calm and certain. "You pretend you're not, but you are. You're sad and you're alone. You built everything so you wouldn't need anyone. And it worked too well." My chest went tight. This was too much, too personal, too strange. But Sophia didn't deny it. She just stared at Lily for a long moment. Then she spoke. Softer this time. Children shouldn't see things like that. Lily tilted her head. I didn't choose to see it. Silence followed. A long one. Sophia finally looked at me. "Your daughter is very observant." I let out a nervous breath. "Yeah. She says things like that sometimes. I'm sorry if it's uncomfortable." But Sophia didn't look uncomfortable. She looked unsettled. Like something had been placed in front of her that she couldn't easily move away from. Then, before leaving, she said something unexpected. "I come here most mornings. If she's going to say things like that again, maybe keep her close." And she walked away. No introduction, no explanation, just distance. Lily watched her leave, then turned to me. "She'll come back," she said softly. I didn't know why, but I didn't argue this time. Because something about Sophia Brooks already felt like she had never really left. The next morning, Sophia didn't come back. I told myself that meant everything was normal again. But Lily didn't believe in normal the way I did. She still made me go to the park. Same bench, same time, same quiet morning world, pretending nothing important ever happened there. I tried to distract her with snacks, with stories, even with promises of ice cream later. But Lily stayed focused on the path, like she was waiting for a scheduled arrival. "You're sure she comes here?" I asked again, trying to sound casual. Lily nodded without looking at me. "Yes," I sighed, tired of fighting something I couldn't understand. "Lily, people don't just appear because we want them to." She finally turned her head slightly. "I don't want her." That stopped me. "What do you mean?" Lily hesitated, like she was trying to find words too big for her age. "She's not happy, and she's pretending she doesn't need anyone." I didn't respond right away, because something about that felt uncomfortably familiar, like I was hearing a description of myself. Before I could think more about it, footsteps approached. This time slower, more deliberate. I looked up and my breath caught. Sophia Brooks was there. No assistant, no phone call, no rush, just her. She stopped a few feet away, like she had been deciding whether to come at all. "I wasn't planning to come today," she said. I stood automatically. "That's okay. We didn't expect, I know." She interrupted gently. Her eyes moved to Lily, and Lily, without hesitation, said again, "You came anyway." Sophia studied her for a long moment. Then she sat down on the far end of the bench. Not close, not distant, just present. "I kept thinking about what you said," Sophia told Lily, "about the silence being loud." Lily didn't respond, just sat quietly. "I've never thought of my life that way before." Sophia continued, "But you were right. I hear it now. I can't unhear it." Lily swung her legs slowly. "You don't have to stay in the silence." Sophia looked at me then, back to Lily. "What if I don't know how to leave it?" Lily tilted her head the way she did when she was thinking about something. "You have to want to leave it more than you want to stay safe." That phrase landed heavy. I felt it too. The weight of it, the truth of it. We sat together that morning, not talking much, just present. I brought coffee. Sophia had nothing in her hands, just sat with her coat pulled tight around her, like she was cold, even though the morning wasn't that cold. Before she left, she said something. "Can I come back tomorrow?" Lily answered before I could. "Yes," she said. And Sophia did come back. She came back the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. Every morning at different times, but always coming. Always showing up. Always sitting on that bench, like it was the most important meeting of her day. Lily would sit beside her and say things. Sometimes harsh truths. Sometimes simple observations. Always things that landed deeper than a 6-year-old's words had any right to land. And Sophia would listen. Really listen. Like she was hearing her own pain described out loud for the first time. I watched them together and understood something was happening. Something I didn't have words for yet. A week in, 9 days, 12 days. I started staying later at work and thinking about Sophia when I should have been thinking about my clients. My supervisor noticed. A colleague asked if I was okay. I almost told her about Sophia, then realized how crazy that sounded. I researched her at night, found articles about her company, her success, her isolation. Every photo showed her alone, no partner, no family, no one beside her. I read an article from years ago. The loneliest generation. Executives who built empires, but lost themselves. Sophia was quoted. From 8 years before. Success is the best shield against disappointment. If you don't need people, people can't hurt you. That quote haunted me. One evening my phone rang. Unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. "This is Daniel." A pause. Then her voice. "Hello, Daniel." My breath caught. "Sophia." "I've been thinking about what happened at the park," she said. "About what Lily said about me." "Sophia, your daughter wasn't wrong about any of it." Long pause. "I didn't plan to call. I'm calling anyway. Does that mean anything to you?" I said, "Yes, it does. I'm terrified," Sophia said quietly. "Me too," I admitted. "That's not the same kind of terrified," Sophia said. "I've built my entire life to avoid moments like this." I leaned against the wall. Lily was asleep on the couch nearby. I moved to the kitchen where I could talk without waking her. "So have I," until Lily forced me to look. Sophia took a shaky breath. "Can I ask you something?" "Anything." "When you look at your daughter, do you see your wife?" I went quiet. "Every day," I said finally. In her eyes, her certainty, her way of seeing through people. "Does it hurt?" "Sometimes," but it also keeps her alive. In Lily. Do you ever think about calling someone? Sophia breathed on the other end. The city behind her. The sound of her moving. I did. Right now. I'm calling you. The vulnerability of that admission made my chest tight. I can't promise anything. Sophia continued. I'm difficult. I push people away. I might hurt you. I know, I said, but I want to try anyway. Why? Because my daughter saw something in you that even you couldn't see, and I've learned to trust her intuition. Sophia took another shaky breath. Okay, I'll try. That evening, Sophia sat in her apartment overlooking the city. It was massive, expensive, empty, floor-to-ceiling windows showing the glittering skyline. Minimal furniture, no photographs, no personal touches, just the life of someone who had built a fortress so carefully that nothing could get in and nothing could get out. She stood at the window drinking wine, phone in hand, my name on the screen. She was reliving the phone call, word by word. She thought about Lily's words. The silence is loud. She'd never thought of her success as creating silence, but now she couldn't unhear it. She tried to work, opened her laptop, closed it, tried to sleep, couldn't. Around midnight, she made a decision. She put on running clothes. She drove to the park. She sat on the bench, waiting. Her hands were shaking. She'd never been nervous about a business meeting. She was terrified about meeting a 6-year-old and a widowed counselor. I arrived with Lily at 8:05 a.m. the next morning. I saw Sophia already there, waiting. This changed everything. She came to us. She was waiting for us. Sophia looked different. No CEO armor. Just a woman in running clothes. Lily was unsurprised. You came, she said. Sophia looked at her. You said I would. I'm learning to listen to you. Lily swung her legs. You're less loud now. Inside. I watched them interact and understood something shifting. Sophia was choosing to be seen. I didn't sleep. Sophia said, I kept thinking about what you said, about the silence. Lily tilted her head. You can be quiet with us. The quiet is different. I glanced at my watch. Would you like to get coffee or breakfast? Not here, I mean. Somewhere we can actually talk. Sophia hesitated, then checked her phone. I have a meeting at 10, but I could do an hour. I looked at her. Cancel it. Sophia looked at me in shock. I continued. I know you can't, but I want to know if you would. If you could. Sophia looked at her phone. Showing 7:54 a.m. Her meeting was in just over 2 hours. She called her assistant. Cancel the Meridian meeting. Reschedule for next week. She hung up. There. 1 hour of my life. Just for you two. But it was more than that, and we all knew it. She was canceling a major meeting. Something she never did. Something that showed priorities were shifting. We walked to a nearby cafe. For the first time, we had a real conversation. We sat at a corner table. Lily ordered hot chocolate. I ordered coffee. Sophia ordered water. The initial awkwardness hung between us like fog. I tried to ease it. Lily says things that well, that land harder than they should. Sophia looked at Lily carefully. She doesn't say things. She states facts. How do you know the difference? Because I am those facts. Long pause. Sophia turned to Lily. What else do you see? Lily considered the question, with the seriousness of someone much older. That your dad wasn't mean to you, but he wasn't there either. And your mom tried, but she had her own hurt. And you learned that being alone was safer than being disappointed. I froze. Lily, But Sophia raised her hand. Let her speak. She looked at Lily directly. How old are you? 6. Sophia took a breath. You understand more about human psychology in 6 years than most people do in 40. Lily swung her legs. I just see what hurts people. And I see people who hurt people they don't mean to hurt. Sophia looked at me. Is she always like this? I shook my head slowly. Since her mother died. She got quieter, and somehow also more truthful. Sophia's expression softened. Your wife, Claire. How did you... I heard you mention it on the phone. And Lily has drawings on your refrigerator. 3 people. She's drawing what she lost. Every day she draws what she lost. I realized something then. Sophia had been paying attention. Deeply. 3 years ago, I said quietly. She was sick. Quick. Then she was gone. Lily was 3. And you've been alone since. You too, I said. Sophia stared at her water glass. Not alone. Isolated. There's a difference. Alone is an accident. Isolated is a choice. Lily spoke up. You chose it because people left before. Sophia looked at her. Yes. I hesitated, then reached across the table slowly, asking permission with my eyes. Sophia let me take her hand. It was the first time we'd touched deliberately. My hand was warm. Hers was cold. Lily watched us, satisfied. You're not heavy anymore, either of you. I looked at my daughter. What do you mean, Bud? You both carried something heavy. Now you're sharing it. It weighs less when you share it. Sophia stared at Lily with something like wonder. You're like a tiny therapist. Lily shook her head. I just know what sad looks like, and what not sad looks like. This is not sad. I checked my watch. 9:23 a.m. I had to get to work. Sophia had a rescheduled meeting, but neither of us moved. What do we do now? I asked. Sophia looked down at our joined hands. I don't have a plan. I'm usually very good at plans. I don't have a plan for this. Maybe that's the point, I said. Maybe we just keep showing up. People don't usually keep showing up for me. I squeezed her hand. We're not people. We're us. And we're showing up. That's terrifying, Sophia said. Lily leaned forward. All the good things are terrifying. Sophia looked at me with something like relief, like someone had finally told her the truth. Your daughter has given me more wisdom before 9:30 a.m. than my therapist has in 6 years. I smiled slightly. You have a therapist had. I fired her for not being honest enough. She kept telling me what I wanted to hear. I didn't fire Lily. I want to know what she sees. We sat together in the small cafe. 3 people who'd just decided to risk vulnerability. Finally, Sophia said quietly, I should go to my meeting. But she took Lily's hand as we left. This gesture. So small, but monumental for Sophia. I noticed. I understood. This was Sophia committing to trying. As we walked out, Sophia looked back at me. Tomorrow morning, the park, I met her eyes. Every morning if you want. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. The next 14 days unfolded like a slowly opening flower. Lily and I saw Sophia at the park every morning, 8 to 8:30 a.m. It became routine, which should have been boring, but wasn't. On day 9, Sophia had a crisis at work. She sent an email. Can't make it. Emergency at the office. Won't be there tomorrow either. This was a mistake. I can't do this. My heart broke reading it. But Lily shook her head. She's scared. That doesn't mean she's leaving. How can you be so sure? because she sent an email instead of just disappearing. If she was really leaving, she wouldn't have sent it. Lily was right. I waited 2 days. On day 11, Sophia appeared at the park looking exhausted. She'd been in meetings for 48 hours, looked smaller somehow. Less armor. She sat next to Lily without speaking. Lily took her hand. "I almost didn't come," Sophia said. "I almost just stayed away." "But you came," I said. "Your daughter sent me something. A drawing. 3 figures on a bench. With a note. You promised." I looked at Lily. "You emailed Sophia a drawing." Lily nodded. "I saw her email on your phone. I wanted her to know someone was waiting for her." I started to respond, but Sophia spoke first. "That's exactly what I needed. To know someone was waiting for me." This moment held weight. Lily pushing us toward connection, while I was still passive. Sophia couldn't stay long. Another meeting. But things were shifting. Her company was important, but we were also important. She was learning to hold both. Meanwhile, I had my own test at work. A client named Marcus Sr. came in. A father who lost custody of his kids because he couldn't hold it together after his wife left him. "How do you do it?" Marcus Sr. asked. "How do you keep going when everything falls apart?" I thought of Sophia and Lily. You find people who see you, and you let them. People always leave me. Not if you let them stay. You have to be brave enough to let them stay. I realized I was giving advice. I was finally learning myself. On day 14, Sophia took Lily to get ice cream without me. This was a big step. She was choosing to be alone with Lily, building her own relationship with her. When they returned, Lily had a new drawing. 4 figures this time. Me, Lily, Sophia, and Claire watching from above in the sky. Sophia looked at the drawing and cried. Real tears. Genuine grief. She'd never processed grief for the people she'd lost. Lily put her small hand on Sophia's arm. She can be with us now. Through us. Through how we love each other. Sophia held Lily close. I watched from the doorway. I saw it then. This was actually happening. This was real. 3 weeks in. 22 days. That evening, after Lily was asleep, I asked Sophia to stay longer. We sat on my small couch, coffee getting cold between us. What are we doing, Sophia? I asked. I need to understand what this is. Sophia stared at her cup. I don't have a name for it. I only know I wake up and think about you. About this. About the fact that I have everything, and I had nothing until 3 weeks ago. It's fast, I said. It's terrifying. Sophia looked at me. You know that, right? I'm going to disappoint you. I'm going to push you away when I get scared. I'm going to default to isolation because that's what I know. I know. And I'll still be here. How can you know that? Because Lily knew I needed this. And Lily knows you needed this. And I'm learning to trust what Lily knows. Sophia stood and paced, her anxiety response. I've built my entire life to not need anyone. And now I need you. I need your daughter. I need this. And it makes me feel like I'm losing control. I stood to face her. You're not losing control. You're gaining something. Same thing. I don't know who I am without control. I stepped closer. You're someone who shows up. You're someone who listens to a 6-year-old's truth. You're someone who canceled a meeting for us. You're someone brave enough to try something scary. I don't feel brave. I feel like I'm breaking. Maybe that's what brave is. Breaking open to let someone in. Sophia turned away. Claire was brave. That's why Lily is brave. I waited. Yes. Can I be brave like that? You already are. You just don't recognize it in yourself yet. Sophia put her head on my shoulder. This simple gesture. She was accepting comfort. We sat like that for a long time. Finally, Sophia spoke. I want to try. I want to actually try to build something with you. With Lily. But I need you to understand what you're getting. I'm difficult. I work too much. I don't do vulnerability well. I know, and I'm choosing you anyway. Sophia pulled away to look at me. Why? Because I love you. It was the first time I'd said it. Sophia closed her eyes. I don't know how to accept love. Then we'll learn together. What if I fail? Then we try again. That's what love is. Trying again. Sophia kissed me. It was tentative. Scared, real, not passion. Tenderness. Afterward, we held each other. Sophia whispered into my shoulder. I choose you too. And Lily, I'm choosing you both. Even though I'm terrified. That's all I'm asking, I said. The choice. Every day. The choice. We fell asleep on the couch that night. Sophia letting herself be vulnerable enough to sleep with someone. But on day 22, something changed. Sophia's ex-boyfriend, James, appeared. He was a venture capitalist who wanted to invest in her company. More importantly, he wanted Sophia back. He told her things that made her question everything. I see what you're doing. I've seen this before. You're settling for ordinary. I know you want extraordinary. Sophia was shaken. She started asking questions in the dark. Is Daniel enough? Is this suburban life really what she wants? Park mornings and coffee dates and a 6-year-old's drawings? She pulled back, canceled park meetings, said work was demanding, which was true. But it was also an excuse. I tried not to panic, but Lily knew something was wrong. She's listening to someone else's voice instead of ours. Lily said one morning, I didn't understand. There's someone telling her she should be different, and she's believing them. I called Sophia that afternoon. We should talk about what's happening. Sophia's voice was cold over the phone. What's happening is reality. I have a company to run. I can't just spend mornings at the park forever. No one said forever. I'm saying, let's figure this out together. I think I made a mistake. I'm not built for this kind of life. I'm not built for normalcy. You're running. I'm being realistic. We didn't fight. We just pulled apart. For 3 days, I didn't see Sophia. Lily was quiet, withdrawn, sad. I watched my daughter losing hope, and it broke me. He did something he hadn't done in years. I went to Sophia's office building. I took the elevator to her floor. I walked past the assistant to her office. Sophia was with James. When she saw me, her expression hardened. James said quickly, I'll give you 2 a minute and left. You're really doing this, I said. You're running. I'm being smart. I can't build a life on a 6-year-old's prophecy and park bench conversations. I stepped closer. You're not. You're building a life on what we choose every day. On deciding that connection matters more than control. Sophia turned away. You don't understand. I don't fit in that world. I never will. You don't fit because you haven't let yourself belong. Belonging isn't something you achieve. It's something you accept. Sophia stared out the window at the city below. I continued. My wife Claire used to say that the people we meet change us. That's not weakness. That's alchemy. Someone loved me. I changed. I became able to love someone else. Lily watched that. She learned it. And when she saw you, she saw another person who could change, if someone believed in her. What if I can't change? Sophia asked quietly. Then I'm still here. And Lily is still here. But you have to let us be. Sophia didn't respond. I left. That night, Lily drew again, 4 figures on a bench, but one was fading. I stared at the drawing and felt my chest crack. I sat with Lily. I think Sophia is choosing James. Lily shook her head. She's choosing what's easy, but easy isn't always right. Sometimes easy wins, I said. Not forever. Lily said with absolute certainty. You'll see. The next day, I did something I hadn't done in 3 years. I went to Claire's grave. I sat there in the cold and talked to my dead wife. I found someone, I said. Or Lily found her for me. And it was so easy with you. But this is hard. This is constantly choosing someone who's scared. And I don't know if I have enough energy to do that. I already raised a scared child after you died. I don't know if I can help another broken adult find her way. I cried then. Real tears. Full body sobs. All the grief I'd been holding. All the loneliness. All the loss. It came out. And when I was done, something shifted. I understood something about myself. I loved Sophia. Not in spite of her brokenness, because of how hard she was working to heal. I stood at Claire's grave and said quietly, I'm going to fight for her, the way I wish someone had fought for you. That evening, Sophia showed up at my apartment. She'd been crying too. I went to James's hotel. She said, I told him no. I told him I couldn't go back to that. Why? Because he wanted me to be extraordinary in a way that required being alone. And you and Lily want me to be extraordinary in a way that requires being brave enough to need someone. And I'd rather be brave than alone. What changed? I had lunch with your colleague Marcus. Did you ask him to talk to me? No. He told me about you. About how after your wife died, you came to work and did your job, and no one knew you were dying inside. He said he watched you slowly start to live again when Lily needed you to. He said you taught him that love isn't what you feel, it's what you show up for every single day. I shook my head. That sounds like Marcus. He also told me he watched you disappear this week. He said he knew you were terrified I would leave. He said I was hurting the person who's been hurting for me to stay. She stepped closer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you. I'm sorry I let fear run the show. I'm choosing you. Every day. Even when I'm scared. Especially when I'm scared. I pulled her into an embrace. That's all we can do. Keep choosing. Lily emerged from her bedroom then. She'd been awake, listening. She looked at her drawing of the fading figure, and she crumpled it. She made a new drawing, 4 figures on a bench, all solid, all real, all chosen. She showed Sophia the drawing. You stayed. Sophia knelt down. I stayed. She held Lily close. I watched my daughter and the woman I loved. And I finally understood. This was what Claire would have wanted. Not me alone. Me loved. Me chosen. 6 months later, everything was different. We'd moved into a new apartment together. All 3 of us. A home that belonged to all of us. Sophia still ran her company, but worked from home 2 days a week. I still did my counseling work. Lily was in 2nd grade now. Thriving, without the weight of adult grief pressing down on her. The morning rituals continued, but they were different now. Optional. We went to the park because we wanted to, not because we needed to, but Lily still brought her sketchbook. She drew the family now, at home, at the park, making memories. One morning at the bench in Central Park, I took a small box from my pocket. Sophia looked at me. Lily had insisted I do this right. She'd had this planned for weeks, apparently. I opened the box. Inside was a simple ring. I want to ask you to marry me, I said. Lily said I should ask you. I think she's been waiting for the right moment. Sophia looked at Lily, who held up a drawing of a wedding. How long have you been waiting for this? Sophia asked her daughter. Since the day I saw you, Lily said. I just had to wait for you to catch up. They laughed and cried at the same time. The proposal wasn't a surprise because Lily had basically planned it. But it meant everything because it was the culmination of choosing each other. Over and over. The wedding was small. Lily, me, Sophia, our colleagues, a few family members. Lily was the ring bearer and the flower girl because she insisted on both roles. When we said vows, Sophia looked at both of us. I spent my life building walls, she said. And then I met a 6-year-old who saw through them, and a man who chose to love me while I learned to love myself. I don't promise to be perfect. I promise to be honest. I promise to show up. I promise to keep choosing you, every single day, even when I'm scared. I looked at her. I spent 3 years alone thinking I was fine, and then my daughter pointed at a stranger in the park and said, "Marry her." And I realized I don't have to know how a story ends to trust in the beginning. I love you, Sophia. I choose you. And I promise to help you understand that being loved by us isn't weakness. It's exactly what you're capable of. Lily was given a chance to speak. I just knew. When I saw you, I knew. I'm really happy now, and you should be happy too. Because you deserve it. The reception was in a garden. There was dancing, and Sophia danced with Lily, learning how to play. There was a moment where Sophia held Claire's photograph from my desk. She whispered, "Thank you for loving him. He's the kind of man who needed to be loved, and you showed him how. Now it's my turn." That evening we cut the wedding cake. Lily insisted we feed each other the first bite. Sophia tried to be dignified about it. I laughed. We both ended up with cake on our faces. In that moment, Sophia forgot to be CEO. She just was. Happy, loved, belonging. 1 year later, Lily was now 7. Sophia was pregnant. We'd decided to have a child together. It was a January afternoon, and we sat on the same bench in Central Park where everything started. Sophia felt the baby kick. She put my hand on her belly so I could feel it. "I can't believe we're doing this," I said. Sophia smiled. "A year ago, I couldn't believe we'd survive the first week. Now we're making a new life. That's something." Lily watched us with quiet satisfaction. "The baby will know how to love from the start," she said, "because both of you do." And we sat together on the bench where it all started. 3 broken people who became whole by choosing each other. The city moved around us, full of people looking for exactly what we found. But Lily, Sophia, and I knew the secret. You have to be willing to be seen first. You have to be willing to see someone else. And you have to choose every day, even when you're scared. Especially when you're scared. That's what love is. That's what it always was.